Today, for members' statements, we will hear for the honourable members from the districts of Fortune Bay, Cape Hune, Conception Bay South, St. George's, Humber, St. John's Centre, and Baie Verte-Green Bay. The Honourable, the member for Fortune Bay, Cape Hune.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to congratulate the local service district of Francois for winning the Cruise Vision Award presented by Cruise Newfoundland and Labrador at the H&L Gala earlier this year. The award was presented in recognition of Francois' commitment to the provincial cruise industry and their contribution to growth of the sector in our province. Francois, a true gem on our sunny south coast, is a frequent stop by many cruise ships and was one of only 3 stops in Newfoundland and Labrador by the C3 Exploration Cruise in celebration of Canada's 150th birthday. Passengers are provided guided tours and are more than delighted by the open-hearted traditional kitchen party, alive with fabulous local musicians, delicious food, and captivating storytelling. Occupied since the 1700s, it is incredible how this community of about 70 residents come together to offer their visitors lasting memories of an enchanting voyage and a unique taste of Newfoundland and Labrador. Cruise passengers are certainly awed by the Outport's 600-foot-high waterfall in the community centre and charming wooden walkways that are surpassed only by the warmth and welcome of its residents. I ask all members to thank me in congratulating Francois for its humongous success in this sector. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member's time has expired. The honourable member for Conception Bay South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on January 7th, I had the pleasure to attend the opening ceremony of the new inclusive squash program in Conception Bay South. Conception Bay South became the first town in Canada to adopt an inclusive squash program, providing people with physical, emotional, or intellectual disabilities the opportunity to play the sport. Organisers are calling this a global first. This program was spearheaded by Squash Newfoundland's past president and squash pioneer, Eric Hart from Conception Bay South, Ms. Lolly Gillen, the former president of Squash Canada and now an international delegate for the game, has been instrumental in helping Eric set up his inclusive squash program. She has reached out around the world to organisations from Hong Kong to Australia to learn more about the countries thought about doing this, but none have done it to date. This program has a long-term goal of taking this initiative across Canada. In addition to this, the US, Norway and Australia has asked for this inclusive squash program model. They are hopeful this program could one day be part of the Paralympic Games. Mr. Speaker, I congratulate Eric Hart for his continued dedication and achievements and ask all honourable members to join me in recognising his contribution to our community and also to the province. Thank you.
Thank you. The honourable member for St. George's, Humber.
Mr. Speaker, last fall I rose in this House to congratulate Ms. Frida Gillis as she celebrated her 108th birthday. She was the oldest citizen of our province. Today, with sadness, I rise to inform the House of Mrs. Gillis's passing earlier this year. Frida was born in Carterville on the West Coast and has seen many changes and many historic events in her lifetime. She witnessed veterans returning from both World War I and World War II, and as well as the Great Depression. Miss Gillis also had many wonderful events in her own life. She married Tommy Gillis in 1931, and they had 5 children. In the 1950s, they started a business together which employed many people in the area she lived. Over the last 5 years, I had a number of opportunities to speak with Frida and was always impressed by her active mind, her strong will, and her sharp wit. Her legacy lives on the impact she has had on members of her family and all those she came in contact with. She is truly an example of a life well lived. I ask all members of the House to join me in celebrating the life of Frida Gillis.
The honourable member for the district of St. John's Centre.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Megan Gale Coles has done it again. Her newest creation, small game hunting at the local Coward Gun Club, has hit the bookstores to critical acclaim. Megan grew up in Savage Cove on the Great Northern Peninsula and makes St. John's Centre her home. She dedicated her latest book to the beautiful, vicious island that makes and unmakes us, and warns, this might hurt a bit, be brave. And the bravery she speaks of is her own, as a courageous feminist writer who pushes us all to really see what is happening around us and to challenge the systems and attitudes that keep us down. But make no mistake, nothing is keeping Megan Gale Coles down. Her star is rising, and we get to ride along. Buy this book. Brava, Megan Gale Coles. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Baie Verte-Green Bay.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to highlight an amazing young athlete from my district who has been turning the heads of hockey scouts. At just 14, Abby Clark from Springdale left home to pursue an education through hockey at Ross A. Netherwood School in New Brunswick. From there, a scholarship led her to Alberta's Warner Hockey School in the JWHL. She finished her graduating year playing for the Edge School for Athletes in Calgary. In 2014, Abby committed to an athletic scholarship at St. Thomas University in Fredericton. Named team MVP 2017-2018 and academic All-Canadian the same year, at 21 she attended Team Canada's Women Pre-Olympic Camp. 2018-2019 has been a career year for the amazing goaltender, being named University Sports National Athlete of the Week in early January. Her numbers, goal against average of 1.05 and save percentage of .961, are the best in the entire nation among CSH goalies with 10 or more appearances. She was named playoff MVP in the AUS and will compete later this week in University Sports Nationals. I ask my honourable colleagues to join me in wishing Abby much success as she pursues her love of hockey. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.